Right, this is a compound interest question, which means we're dealing with PIN. F equals PIN, P-I-N. The compound interest questions, remember this formula. Okay, F is the final amount. Okay, P is the principal amount, how much you start with. I is the interest expressed as a decimal. Okay, interest as a decimal. And N is the number of years. Okay, so remember that formula, F equals PIN. Right, first question. We have 3% per annum compound interest. After 2 years, the value is that. So that's the final value. That's F. And we have to find the principal amount. So we have to find P. Okay? 3% compound interest. We have to express 3% as a decimal. So if you're increasing, interest increases. So an increase of 3% every year is 1.03. Okay? Right, so stick that into the formula, rearrange it to get big P. So, 2 years, so N is 2. N equals 2. Right, so what have we got? F equals PIN. So, final amount, F, that's 2652.25. F equals P, the thing we want, so we leave it as P. I is 1.03, 1.03, 3% expressed as a decimal. And N is number of years, N is 2. Okay? So, rearrange that for P. Divide both sides by 1.03 squared, or bring that down here. And we get P equals 2652.25 divided by 1.03 squared. Stick that in your calculator, and it turns out to be exactly 2,500 quid. So that is P. That's how much he started with. Good. Right, next bit. There are 2 different accounts, a saver account and an investment account. And some geezer's going to invest some money for exactly 5 years. The saver account has a compound interest deal at 4% per annum compound interest. The investment account is not compound interest, they just give you 21% after 5 years. Which is best? Okay, let's start with the saver. The final amount for the saver is going to be PIN. Okay, it's compound interest. We don't know what the principal is. We'll just call it P. The interest is 4%, so that's 1.04. And it's 5 years, so it's 5. So it's 1.04 to the power of 5. Stick that in your calculator and you get, that's the same as P times 1.04 to the power of 5 is 1.21665 something something something, doesn't matter. Okay? Good. Right, a lump payment of 21% after 5 years. The final amount No, I'm not going to use f because I don't want to. I want you to associate f equals pin with compound interest, okay? I'm just going to write down the calculation. You're quite simply paid 21% of however much you invested, the principal amount. So it's going to be principal amount times 1.21. 21% as a decimal is 1.21. 21% as a decimal is 0.21, but to work out how much you end up with, you've got the principal amount plus 21% of it. So you've got one lot of the principal amount plus 0.21 lots of the principal amount. So that's a total of 1.21. So to work out the final amount you're left with, you multiply the principal amount by 1.21. I'll just go over that again. I don't want to confuse you or go into this too much. All I'm saying is that the interest you get is 0.21 times P, okay? But you've got P, the principal amount, as well on top of that. So that's 1 times P plus the interest, which is 0.21 times P. So that's a total of 1.21 times P. Okay, let's move on. So the amount you get paid after 5 years is just simply that. It's 1.21 times the principal amount. So which of these two is bigger? Well, it's this one, because 1.21665, whatever, is slightly bigger than 1.21. So the saver is the better choice. Okay, I just want to quickly go over how to express the interest as a decimal, okay? Going back to the original question here, 3% compound interest. So I realise, maybe I've been confusing you, just want to clear this up. I realise that 3% expressed as a decimal is 0.03, okay? 3% is 0.03, right? But for the purposes of compound interest pin questions, you have to add 1 to that value, and that is how you write big I, the interest, okay? So if you're increasing your money by 3% every year, it's an increase of 0.03, which means you multiply by 1.03 to get the new value. So after 1 year, if you multiply the principal by 1.03, you'll have the amount after 1 year, okay? So in the pin formula, don't write 0.03 there. You have to add 1 to whatever the percentage value is. Because if you have a certain amount of money, P, okay, and you're going to increase that value by 3%, then you would get P plus 3% of P. In other words, you get P plus 0.03 times P, okay? We can factorize this, pull out a P, okay, and that's the same as 1 plus 0.03, So that is exactly the same as that, which is just P times 1 plus 0.03 is 1.03. Okay, so that's why it's 1 point something, not 0 point something in the formula. We're gaining 3%, which is 0.03, but you have the original P amount there anyway, which is 1, so a total of 1.03. In other words, to increase something by 3%, you have to multiply by 1.03. I hope that's clear. There you go.